Hopping a hand for
Be careful.
And Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end.
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care, as long as it's good stories.
Welcome to the Acement, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
Nailed it this week.
Fuck yeah.
After listening to last week.
Oh, my God. And we got the mics on the right way.
The intro so bad. I was
all right.
a mess last week.
We also spent 5 minutes talking about how great I was at getting the mic set, and then ended up finding out that one of our wires was shit in the bed.
Completely messed up.
So, yeah. So it sounded like we were in a tunnel again, and I apologize for that again.
I'm driving to Ace's house, just practicing the intro, saying it correctly, going, I'm gonna nail this. And I'm very proud of myself. So
very proud of you.
But thank you everybody for joining us this week, as you do every week, all of our live guests. And if you are downloading the podcast, thank you so much. As you know, if you want to help out the podcast, the best way to do so is that 5-star written review wherever you download your podcast. So many of you have helped us out with that, and that's a big help. Thank you.
We got a couple
very much.
Couple of new ones this week, and I have to thank you guys. That all it takes is a couple of sentences. It doesn't even have to be a paragraph. Although we have had some really good paragraphs.
Yeah, we've had some people who put some really nice notes.
So we do appreciate that. We appreciate all our viewers, and then the folks that are listening a week or two later. So we are, so you may notice we are on the Ace Aceto Twitch channel and the Behind the Funny Facebook page tonight.
Yes.
Live. We are not on the Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, although we will be later. The reason is, if you remember the last podcast, we talked about,
one of the more recent ones, we talked about Bob Nelson
and his battle with colon cancer. And so the guys at Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, Mark Ricadonna, Richie Byrne, have put together a 24-hour telethon, much like they did in the past with the Guinness Book of World Records, although that was like a 72-hour. This is just a 24-hour telethon, trying to raise money and bring awareness for Bob, and really trying to raise money for his GoFundMe. So they're over on Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling tonight, and we will be joining them at 9:30. But first, we have to thank our new
this week's sponsor.
This week's
unofficial official sponsor.
Yes, this is another favorite of ours.
Yes.
And you know, we wanted to heed the advice of some of our listeners, our friends, Robin and Jen, who said, hey, stop talking about the other one if they're not going to give you any love. And so we decided it's not them, it's us. And we've decided to see other bourbons and scotches.
Yes, it was. We're moving on now.
We're moving on. We're going to try a little.
We're putting ourselves out there.
Yes, and we found a beautiful redhead
from another country.
Named Balvini.
Yes,
she's so important. She has the name The Balvini. The one that we prefer is this double wood. It's a 12-year aged.
Double wood. Yeah,
I said double wood.
Shut up, stupid.
Shut up, Beavis. No, it's double wood because it is first put in a whiskey oak barrel, and then it is finished in a sherry oak barrel. So it gives it a smooth finish. I actually didn't even realize it was Scotch, because it's not the typical Islay Scotch, like the Ardbeg, which we may introduce next time.
It doesn't have the taste of a lot of the other Scotches.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of a Scotchiness at the beginning, but it has a really nice, sweet, smooth finish to it. So it's really, really good if you guys want to try it.
Yep.
So, that's this week's official, unofficial
Scotch, not bourbon, of the Behind the Funny podcast. So thank you.
Thank you, Balvini.
Thank you, Balvini. And go ahead. I'll let you get
Yes.
into it. And I think our guest wants us to mention that they may have been at the Riviera.
No,
He's had
this
it in front
guy,
of his
I am
camera.
so excited to have this guy. And, you know, Ace does an amazing job. He's brought so many great guests on. I love when it's a week where it's a guest that I get to introduce that Ace isn't familiar with.
Yeah.
This guy coming on the podcast, I met him at City Steam when we were working together there one time. It was me, him. The first time I met him, it was me, him, and this other comedian named George Gallo, which we need to get on sometime as well.
Yeah. Is he a Long Island guy?
Yeah,
I've heard
hilarious
people have brought
comic
him up.
too.
Yep.
Hilarious comic too. And Paul was the headliner.
Yep.
And he's just one of those guys that instantly when you walk into the green room, if you're a comic, he treats you like a comic.
Yeah.
You know, didn't matter what position you were on the show, we're all comics.
You were a fellow comic.
And he makes the whole weekend fun. So the next time I got to go back there and I was booked with Paul again, it was like you were excited to go back to work there because you're like, oh, I get to work with Paul Bond again.
Right.
Because Paul is just so much fun. And then you hear about his history.
Right. And well, that's the thing. You've mentioned him on the podcast before. We've brought him up. We've talked about him. And that's, you know, we get excited whenever we get to bring someone on who we've talked about in past episodes. So.
And you know, he's just done so many things. He's a good guy. I've had him on a few of my shows. You know, we've done some shows together, and I'm just excited to have this guy on.
Well,
and he's live from his picture of the Riviera.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce my good buddy, Mr. Paul Bond.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Yeah!
Does that say hot streak or hot steak?
Hot
we talked
streak,
about
baby.
That says hot streak, baby.
Steak. Nice.
I told you I was naked from the waist down, so I was streaking.
You
How
promised
are you, fellas?
Good, Paul.
You promised you'd be totally naked.
Yeah,
by
you
now.
did say
Come on.
totally
No,
naked,
I
Paul.
did, but if I
That's
stand
all right.
up, I'll make my point.
Oh,
Well,
hey.
One thing about Paul is even when he's totally naked, he doesn't take the hat off.
No,
I don't.
He
No,
doesn't
I got
take
it.
the hat off.
But when I'm naked, I have a hat on. No.
Oh, hey, I tell you.
I'm here
Hey,
all
look
week.
at me. I'm
Try
a
the
flag
video.
it. Look at me. I'm a flag it. All right. Anyway,
Oh my
this
God.
is
We're
this
off
is
and
to
running.
lead us. By the way, just let your listeners know this is not going to be a politically correct show.
Okay.
We've had a few of those.
Yeah, we've
I
had a
don't
few.
We've
do
had a
that
few-
horse shit. And my whole new tour is about not going there.
It's
And,
you know what? It says explicit on Apple Podcasts for a reason.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, we're
good.
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
I
We're
didn't
good.
know what I was dealing with.
Oh
you know.
yeah,
No, say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Okay.
I mean,
Good to
there's
go.
that one convent of nuns that listens every week.
Well,
but you know,
we-
they've got worse
Well,
mouths
hold
than
on.
us.
We actually had a comedian, a Boston comedian, Dave
Yeah.
Russo, who lives in an apartment in a convent,
In an old convent.
in an old convent. And so we had him on from the convent. So, hey, you never know. You never know.
know.
So,
These crazy
Exactly.
comics, you never know where they're going to wind up.
That's right. And already our friend Robin is on and says we expect the worst. That's
Robin
awesome.
from
Thank you,
Colorado.
Robin from Colorado.
Robin
We
from
love you.
Colorado.
Colorado. I love Colorado. I did
So-
Aspen one time.
Did you do the Aspen Festival?
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought he said he
I
did
did it with Jim
Aspen.
Brewer, and that's where I met George Carlin. But I don't want to name drop.
Now, that must have been, I know how big of a Carlin guy you are. You know, that's because you and I have had these conversations before. Now, that had to be like just one of those surreal moments to be able to meet the guy.
I felt like such a little girl. I was like, oh my God. It was this. The scenario was at the Aspen Comedy Festival. Everyone does their shows outside that venue, and then we all together at the St. Regis Hotel. So we finished our show. Everyone finished their show, and there was a show called Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, Dick Gregory, Tommy Smothers, and George Carlin. It was just a panel kind of thing.
Not familiar with
Yeah.
any of those guys.
Yeah, never
They're
heard
all
of those
no
guys.
names, but
All
yeah,
no
they
names
know
guys.
they're-
Yeah, maybe some.
So,
Maybe we
so
should
I
get them on
decided-
now before they're big.
Yeah.
yeah, boy, I'm really name dropping right from the start.
Well,
That's all right.
I baited you with that one.
So anyway, I'm there with Jim and the band because we played music for Jim and his show, Jim Brewer, and another name. And so I said to the band, I'm going to get shots of tequila for everybody. They go, okay. So I go to the bar, and first of all, this asshole doesn't know how much liquor is because he doesn't drink.
Oh.
And I ordered Patron.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, in an exclusive hotel.
Yeah.
4 shots. Guess what it cost?
$400.
No.
No.
I'd say 200.
No, it was 100. All right, now I feel
All
cheap.
right.
All right, now I
Oh,
feel
come on, man. Well,
So
it depends
anyway,
on what
I'm
Patron it was.
Well, no, because they have some of those really aged Patrons
that could be $100
that are like
a shot.
Yeah, they're like $75-$100 a shot. So I don't know which one you got.
Yeah.
This one was just a guy named Johnny. It was Johnny Patron.
Johnny
And,
Patron.
Yeah, I know him.
he's not as aged. All right. So I'm sitting at the bar. Just true story. And next to me sits Tommy Smothers and George Carlin.
Wow.
I'm in comedy heaven right now. I'm like,
yes.
oh, God. Now I'm trying not to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You're trying not to
love you.
fanboy.
Yeah.
But Tommy Smothers breaks the ice. He goes, hey, do you have a cigarette? I see you smoking. At the time I smoked. I go, yeah, in fact, I got 2 brands because they didn't have my brand early. So he takes a Marlboro and he goes, hey, thanks. He goes, and he's like in his 70s. He goes, don't tell my wife. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I'm going to run around the St. Regis, Mrs. Smothers.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So I took the opportunity. I said, George is over here. So let me turn it off for him. So I go, hey, George, would you like a cigarette? He goes, oh, no, thanks. I gave that up years ago, but I appreciate it.
Wow, great impression. Oh, my God, that's awesome.
So he goes, but I appreciate it. And have a nice drink on yourself, just like that. So I was like, he spoke to me.
Yeah, God spoke to me.
I was like, oh, yeah. That's all it was. That's all it was, but that's all it needed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right. Wow.
So I do an homage to George Carlin in my act called
Yes.
How Did the 7 Dirty Words Become Dirty? And it's pretty damn clever and written in his style.
Yeah.
It took me a year and a half to write it, but I wanted to do it right. And I always get other comics' opinions because I never want anybody to assume I think I'm George Carlin, but I want to do enough of a credit. Yeah, I want to give a credibility
enough of a tribute. Right.
a tribute enough. So without coming off like an asshole. So
right. So Paul, where did you grow up?
Right in this chair.
Oh
No,
my
I grew up. I was so odd.
You were a fetus strapped into the chair.
I grew up in Islip, New York.
Okay. All right.
On Long Island.
On Long Island.
I say that because everyone says whenever I say Long Island, they go, oh, Long Island.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't say it that way, asshole. All right.
Yeah. Right.
So,
and look at.
So I grew up on Long Island, and I'm still here. I moved from town to town because of the laws, and
you
but
can't be near too many schools.
Yeah. I got through all my schools. I went to college for a year. It was community college, and that was it. It wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you.
I just, I didn't want to be he's so learned. I wanted to open up a music store originally. That was my dream, to have a mom and pop music store. But I'm a musician who plays guitar. Yeah. And that was the dream for me. And then I started playing in bands and heavy metal bands and stuff like that. And then I decided I watched a lot of comedy when I was a kid. And I used to get permission from my parents to stay up to get up at like 2:00 in the morning just to watch a Marx Brother fucking movie.
Wow.
I love the Marx Brothers, Chaplin, Buster Keaton. I'm saying a lot of names nobody knows right now.
No, yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Godfathers of physical, silent films, physical comedy. Absolutely. Very clever.
Yes, and I think that's where I got a lot of my visual aspect of my show, because I feel like a joke could always use a visual, or always a little punch at the end, a little period at the end of the sentence.
Right.
And that's why I enjoyed Steve Martin, George Carlin, Johnny Carson, and Groucho Marx. Those are my 4 right there.
Wow. Those are good 4 to pick.
That's a Mount Rushmore of comedy right there.
Right? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think too many people would fight you.
So what was the thing that you were kind of into first? Was it music or comedy?
I was doing music for years. I was in a band with, I was doing a heavy metal band, and then the drinking age went up here in New York.
Yeah, yep.
And that young band scene kind of like dried up. So I joined a top 40 band that my wife was in, and she wasn't my wife at the time.
Yeah.
But I met her she was her butt was in a windowsill. I'll just make it that way. She was singing in a band, and I came to audition.
Yeah.
And I said, if the front looks anything like the back, I'm in. Oh boy. And it did. I married up. I married way up.
Yeah.
So
when did you start? When did you start playing guitar?
12. When I was 12.
You know what? It's so weird, man. When you said that you were playing guitar for years, I go, I bet he started when he was 12. I don't know why that came. I swear to God, I don't know why that came to me. I think we're kismet. We're on the same wavelength.
Well, I think because that's crazy. Around the age you start getting into like true rock music and stuff like that. That's
much older than
grade,
you guys.
How old are you?
We don't have to go there, but I was playing.
You're not. You'd be surprised. You're not that much.
Yeah, not that much.
Because I'm 52.
I'm 53.
He's 53. Yeah, you're a little bit higher. Not that much higher.
50. A lot higher. No. What? All right. Did you play in any of the New York heavy metal bands that ended up going on? Like, were you ever in Twisted Sister or anything like that?
62. That's how.
All right. Yeah.
But
but you've held up well, Paul, because you could pass for at least 61.
Yeah. Exactly.
and 5 months.
In 5 months.
I can't get too close on the wrinkles start. But I never grew up, I'm still a kid at heart. So that's the part that keeps you young. Because I see people my age sometimes and I go, wow, what the fuck happened to you?
Right, exactly. Right.
I consider myself a young 62. So, but I'm having a lot of fun right now doing what I love doing. And I was in a band for years with my wife, and then I moved on. I actually did one talent show for a major radio station down here, and it was all bands and me. And before I went up on stage, there was a booking agent named Tony Camacho. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah. I know who Tony Camacho is. Yeah. Top Drawer Entertainment.
Yes, exactly. Well, this girl came up to me and she goes, do well tonight. And that's all I'm going to say. And I go, I know you. You're Cindy. You're George, my friend George's girlfriend. She goes, yeah, just do well tonight. I said, I'm against heavy metal bands. I'm here just to have a little fun playing guitar, doing song parodies and whatever. She goes, okay. And she leaves. So I go upstairs. I go up on stage. I came in second. I didn't bring anybody, and everybody applauded for me because I'm singing dick parodies by Tom Petty and Led Zeppelin and Who and doing all that. And then this agent comes up to me, Tony Camacho, goes, "How you doing? I'm Tony Camacho." And it's, a big black guy, so it was very intimidating. Yeah. And he goes, "Call me Monday. I have some work for you." I was like, "All right." So I accidentally almost forgot to call him.
Oh my God.
I got myself a new video camera and I was so involved with the instructions and stuff. Also my phone rings and I go, hello. He goes, so you're not going to call me? I go, who's this? He goes, this is Tony Camacho. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. So I got 6 months of bookings right there.
Wow. Just doing your song parodies.
But you know what? And I'm not delusional. It's because I play guitar, and there weren't many guitar guys out there. It was John Joseph Sullivan. I forget what the hell his first name is, but there weren't many guys out there doing the guitar song parodies, and he wanted an MC for a lot of shows that had high energy and that kind of.
That could really warm up the crowd. Yeah,
to get a good feel going. And as far as my song parodies go, there's two guys that I emulated, which is Dennis Blair. Dennis Blair, who opened for George Carlin for 18 years, ironically.
Wow.
He started off by opening for Rodney Dangerfield when Dangerfield was in Caddyshack. You're like,
oh, really?
This guy stepped in shit twice,
Wow.
So, but Dennis Blair taught me the art of get in, get out. Once the joke is over, get out of the song. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do a Weird Al and play the whole song.
Right.
Because then everyone knows the punchline when you get to the chorus.
Right.
So I would do really quick ones like he did. And then Gary Delina was another one.
Okay.
Who was always on Comic Strip Live and stuff. And I wound up doing a show with them called the Rock and Roll Comedy Show, which was pretty cool. Yep. All three of us on stage together.
Jamming together.
Yeah, man, we harmonized. Awesome. We made up parodies together. It was like, I can't believe this.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun, man.
It's funny. It's funny you bring up the Get In, Get Out, because while I'm still a fan of Weird Al, even though, I know he plays the whole thing, but he is witty and he does different things in each chorus. But there are definitely people that we've known that do song parodies that
way too
should
long.
end after the first chorus, and they go way too long, and the audience is going, all right.
We got it.
We get it. Yeah, roll it up. Wrap it up.
They're on the third round of the chorus.
Their song, it's like, no, please don't do a parody of American Pie.
I did one. But I made it real short. I said, "This is Don McLean with Alzheimer's," and I went, "Long, long time ago, I could still remember." So bye, Mr. Pizza Pie, and it stopped right there. So it wasn't.
See, that's good though. Yeah, no, we know someone that would have added 3 verses to that song, and there's already what 8,
just to get to that punchline, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the way I like it. I like it with a little bit of a twist. I like it when it's a left turn the audience can't see coming. I did Paul Simon with Tourette syndrome. I did The Who featuring Lou Ferrigno and Sylvester Stallone. I did. Dude, I had the most absurd Joey Buttafuoco, a love song. And you're lying here in my arms, and it feels like magic to me. I find it hard to believe you're 11.
See, that's it.
That's
get
it.
In and get out. Right.
That's it.
No,
It gets the laugh, and you move on.
Well,
and then you do a dick joke in between. You mix it up.
Right. And see, I'm an impressionist myself. And that's one of the things I always never understood, guys who would do that impression, but it would drag out for so long. Like I say 1 or 2 lines from each character, and then I move on.
You get the big laugh and then move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I would always try to emulate the singer, of course, but it's just, I don't get it. I get bored. It's like when I hear, somebody did a great song parody, I go, how long is it?
Right. Yeah.
It's only 3 minutes. Not listening.
That's the song.
Yeah, that's the song.
The song is 3 minutes.
That's
Again, unless you're Weird Al, who I think is talented at doing that and making, each chorus funny.
Well, no. I gave him a little bit of slack because he created these videos that were amazing.
Right, and the videos went along with it. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I knew that he was not only was it the song, I wanted to see him being Michael Jackson being fat.
And eat it.
And eat it. Yeah. So it was. He made it fun that way, but he also had a production company that was amazing.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And I that's a little different than guys like you that did on stage song parodies. That he had that visual medium and everything else going on. Now, where was the first time that you went on stage doing performance strictly for comedy purposes?
Oh my God, it was a nightmare.
Perfect. We love those.
Yeah,
we love those.
It was my first night. Joey Cola.
We know of him. We haven't met him yet, but
Joey's a legend on Long Island, and he's under Rachel Ray. He does the warm up for Rachel Ray. Right. So anyway, he had a talent night, open mic night, and I was on it, and I wanted to do more characters like Bob Nelson. I wanted to. And I was Bob the dyslexic cowboy, and I sang a song backwards, and I had sound effects coming out of the speakers, and like somebody was running across the ceiling. So, I think I got that son of a gun. I was getting nothing. Nothing. So I stopped that song, and I went into Frank Sinatra. I shit out sideways, and I had a colostomy bag. And I pulled a pack of shit out of my pocket. Fake, of course.
Yeah.
This goes to table number 2. Get it? I went way too long. Now it sounds funny. I probably can make it funny now, but
No,
I was awkward. I was clumsy. Joey Cola's in the back going like this.
You're done. You're done.
Way over. So overnight, that was at Governor's, and the next night I was at Eastside Comedy, Richie Minervini Comedy Club on Long Island.
Yep.
And I was doing Joan St. Odge's show, and I did a complete turnaround. I did nothing but song parodies on the guitar, had the crowd going, and I did a perfect 5. I was in, I was out, and It was so I did Elvis Costello, for Christ's sake. You know, I had my back to the audience and I was posing like Elvis Presley. I go, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis, and I turn around and I have the dark glasses, Costello. I go, what's so funny about the glasses that I'm wearing? Oh. You know, that's it.
Right. Quick.
That's it. That's all I did.
You didn't beat the joke to death.
No.
Yeah.
Hear the Eagles. I've been traveling down the road trying to loosen my load. Eat a bran muffin. You know, so that's it.
That's awesome.
It was fast and furious, and that's what the audience liked, and that became my thing. So thanks to Dennis Blair, because he did that kind of thing. It was amazing.
Yep.
Well, and you reminded me of guys like a friend of ours, like Tom Cotter, or those guys with the fast one line after another, and you did it with music. You know, you'd get into a song and boom, nail the line, and then on to the next one, boom, nail the line.
If you look at the Boston comics, that's kind of how DJ Hazard was, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you know DJ?
I've been compared to DJ Hazard.
Yeah, so DJ, and I know he moved to New York.
Was he ever here?
I don't know. But he used to do a similar thing. He goes, this next song is from my collection of whale songs. And he would play this real, like, seaworthy type of, riff. And they were like, oh, you know, and that was it. It was in, it was out, you know, that's,
you know what it is? It's this, that's where Steve Martin comes in. It's the silliness of it all. It's the absurdity of, wow, that's so weird and funny at the same. Paul Simon with Tourette syndrome is probably the craziest thing I do.
Go ahead.
Say, well, darkness, my old friend, it's time to shit fuck cocksucker. You know, and it's just, that's it. That's all it is.
I'm telling you, that's why anytime I got booked at City Steve with Paul, I was so excited because I couldn't wait. You had certain songs that I would sit in the back of the room and I would just like, oh, I hope he does this one tonight, and I would just watch the crowd and just wait for it and just wait for their reaction, because I know they don't. I know that they don't see it coming, right? You know, and then he's going to hit him with this, and I would just be in the back room, like trying not to ruin it and laugh.
He's your Tom Anzalone. Yes, yes. Do you know Tom Anzalone?
I love Tommy.
Yeah, so Tom started, and he used to come up here all the time, and I used to work with him all the time, and it was the same thing. I would stand in the back of the room, and he would go, "This is from my children's album. I lost one finger in the fan." I'm like, I fucking love this song. I sing it all the time. I sang it to my kids. That's how I taught them subtraction.
Well, you know, you when you did the Bruce Springsteen song, that was always one of my favorites, because you created this character on stage where you'd lean into the mic and you'd lower your voice really low, and it was so.
You know, when I'm on the road with the band, my father and I. He just talks so much. That's why his concerts are 4 hours. He can't shut the fuck
He can't shut up.
The band is going, "Hey, Bruce, I got a sitter. Can you
That's awesome.
Do you have to do every fucking song from the catalog?"
Yes. Right. And say how we wrote them.
And do we really? Do we really?
Yeah, right.
Do we really need a reprise to Rosalita? It's already a 15-minute song.
So how did you hook up with Jim Brewer? You know, and work with him?
He used to live in Florida, and there was a point where he moved up from Florida to New York because he signed with Tony Camacho.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Jim and I were on our first Tony Camacho gig together. It was up in the Comedy Loft in Middletown, New York.
Okay.
And we met each other, and Jim was featuring, and a guy who no longer does comedy was headlining. He was funny too.
Yeah.
But Jim was just blowing the doors off the place.
Yep.
He would do the bug bit. Hey, did you just hit my brother? His balls are on your windshield. You know.
Yeah, right.
He was so out there and so animated.
Yeah.
I learned so much from him. He became another mentor of mine. So we became very close friends very quick. And you know, he's like 10 years younger than me, but we just felt like brothers from the beginning. And so we decided to do this show where he wanted to do music. He wanted to do a soundtrack to his show. There's a special called Hardcore. It's on YouTube now. It's an hour. It's like 45 minutes, but there's a band behind him, and I'm on guitar. And we play complete soundtrack to the entire show. And at the end of the show, we play the Hokey Pokey AC/DC.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't.
So, put your right foot in. Yeah. Ooh, and Jim would do an amazing,
Brian Johnson. He is crazy good at Brian Johnson.
So then I went on tour with him for like 2 years, and we were on Kid Rock's tour bus. It was very cool.
Oh, wow.
We did a cool tour. I played the Fillmore in front of Metallica. They're close friends with Jim, and they were up on the balcony, and just the four of them up in the balcony, but then everybody else in the crowd standing up, and I would open up for Jim and then play heavy metal guitar with Jim. So it was I was wearing two hats. It was the dream gig of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
I got to do stand up and I got to play heavy metal guitar. What the fuck?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So as I'm doing my stand up act, I can hear James Hetfield laughing because it's very distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds like a pirate. I mean, it's yeah, Mikey. So now I got to play heavy metal guitar in front of this motherfucker.
Oh,
him and Kirk. I'm sitting there. I feel a little bit of pressure at the Fillmore. Okay?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
But all I did was I just said, you know what? We're just having a goofy time up here, and they don't expect much of them.
No one's looking for you to be a technical genius.
Yeah, they're not looking me to be Eddie Van Halen or anybody that special. Right. So I just let it go and had a great time, and then I got to hang with Lars in the tour bus, and it was just amazing. And then we played Metallica Icon on MTV. That's also one. We played If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands. Metallica.
That's right. I think I saw that.
James and Lars sing to their kids as fathers.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're happy and you know it's clap your hands, and the crowd reacted like it was one of their songs. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Brewer knocked it out of the park, man. We had one shot to get it right.
Yeah.
Everyone else was playing Metallica music because it was a tribute show.
Right.
So
you guys just changed it.
Goes, I can't play their songs.
Right.
So he came up with this great idea, and we just modernized and heavy metalized the If You're Happy You Know It, and it was great.
It's a perfect idea. That is such a perfect idea.
He is such, and I worked with Jim once years before. It was before he was even on SNL.
Yeah.
He was featured. I think I was opening. He was featuring. I don't remember who the hell was headlining, but he was just He is one of the best storytellers I've ever seen. When he goes on like the Stern Show and starts telling stories, he just holds your attention the whole time. He acts everything out.
The best. I said that to him, and that's why he did a serious radio show on Raw Dog.
Yeah.
I said to him, you could talk about eggs for a half hour.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining.
And it's entertaining because he laughs in the middle of it. He laughs at himself.
Oh, my God.
He does the impressions of his mom and his dad. You know, oh, my God.
What's going on in there? You know,
yeah, I shit my pants.
Yes.
When he would go on Opie and Anthony, I could listen to all 4 hours of the show with him on.
With him. Yeah.
He did an he was telling a story.
But Lou Costello on the choke chain on the dog.
The choke chain on the dog. He's doing the imitation of the dog losing his voice. Yes. You're killing my dog. You kids and your damn bite. My God. And he kept doing it. And it kept getting funnier.
Yeah.
Oh,
he taught me so much about selling a product, just getting up there and making it as over the top as possible
and committing to it and not being afraid to commit, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because as soon as the audience can smell that you're not fully committed to something that's out there, they smell blood and they do not go for it. That's it,
Well, that's why I had Paul at the Bradley Playhouse, and he's doing. Now we talk about his songs, but his regular stand-up is just as funny.
Right.
Is just as funny. And he's closing the show and he's doing a Ricky Martin song, but his version of a Ricky Martin song.
I can imagine.
And it's one of my favorites. Instead of, and I don't even know the real Ricky
You know,
Martin
actually,
name of
it's
the song.
Enrique Iglesias. It's
Enrique.
Bailamos.
Yes,
Bailamos?
yes, that's right. But
I
instead,
never
it's
heard it that Ace. I didn't hear Bailamos. I heard By the Balls. And
yes, when a woman
heard it-
controls a man by the balls, and he gives the entire crowd. We were sold
Singing.
out that night. 400 people singing with him, going by the balls.
all these old theater people,
Yes,
right?
Yes, the regulars, all these people. It was so loud in
That's
there.
awesome.
It was everybody
cool.
was into it. It was so cool.
You know, I pride myself on it. I am an adult comic, but I'm silly enough to not come off offensive.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You know
You're
what?
doing it with a smile on your face and
Yes,
a silliness
I'm having
to
a
it.
good time. You know, I'm just being a dick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Yeah, don't
not
take
it's
it
not
serious.
hateful when you
Right.
do it. You're not
Yes.
doing it in a hateful way, like you said. You're doing it in a silly way. You like you said in the vein of like a Steve Martin or
Yes.
those type of guys.
Right.
You know,
I'm just
yes.
trying to create ironies and make that the joke. You know,
Yes.
it's not
Right,
that I'm
yeah.
making fun of people with Tourette's. I took the calmest guy in show business
Right. Exactly.
All
Gave him
sight.
Tourette's. Yeah.
and gave him Tourette's. Now
It's-
the sounds of silence are no longer silent. Do you understand?
Right, yeah.
There's a twofold joke there.
It's like making Stephen Wright with Tourette's. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That would be funny.
The other day I went
It's
to
a
a
small
foot
world, but I
doctor.
wouldn't want to fucking paint it. You know, it's like,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. The other way I went to a foot doctor. He said,
Fuck shit.
exactly. And once people get beyond that,
yeah.
they get it. They get I'm not being vindictive or
Right. Yeah. You're not
a lot
trying
of
to be
people
mean.
these days
Oh, yeah. They're
want to
triggered
find
at
their
everything.
word or their group that
Right.
you're making fun of, and you know,
Yeah.
and
Well, let
that's
me
why I created the new tour I'm doing because I don't want
Right.
anybody in that group.
Yeah.
No, but I want to ask you this because we've talked to a few comedians, and it seemed like before the pandemic, you know,
Yeah.
we definitely were going down a path with political correctness and people being triggered so easily. And it seems like after, as things are opening back up, it's almost like crowds have loosened up a little bit because they
Yeah.
seem like, oh my God, I'm finally out of the house.
They're starting to appreciate
and
what
they-
they didn't have.
And because we took away their entertainment for over a year, now that they have it back, they've been a little bit looser than they were before. Do you find it that way?
And then it tightened right back up.
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah, it tightened right back up. I lost a resort because of one lesbian joke.
Really?
One. And by the way, they were annoyed with me halfway through my show because the waitress said, by the way, before they left, at the last song by the balls,
Yeah.
they said, she goes, can I get you anything? The waitress, yeah, can you get us another comic? So
Wow.
they waited the entire show to find something they can hang their hat on. as
Right.
offensive to their
As
group.
offensive.
And what happened was I sing by the balls, like we already said.
Yeah.
And I pinpoint somebody. Let's sing it to Robbie on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. By the ball. And I see a couple get up. I don't know if they're black, white, Asian,
Right.
or Indian, because of the lights. So I
Right.
stop and I go, really? I got 2 lines left to my whole friggin' act. Now you got to go. What, did the Viagra kick in? You know, I'm
Right.
cashing
Right.
in on a moment. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go like this. I go, oh, it's two girls. I guess it would be awkward to have you guys stay and sing by the balls. The place goes bananas. They
Of
laugh.
course. Yeah.
They leave. The door shuts, and I say to the audience, I'm stopping my act right here. This is going to be a serious note. And they look at me and I go, you see what just happened? That could possibly get me fired
Yeah.
because of the culture we live in today. The
Right.
cancel culture are those 2 girls that just walked out of here.
Right. Who
And-
shouldn't have been at a comedy show in the first place
Thank you.
because
So
comedy
I
is
was-
going to be offensive.
Dude, you know I set up my show saying I'm politically incorrect. Everyone's going to
Right.
be
Right.
all Americans first. The whole line.
Right.
To let them know, hey, get up and leave now.
Right. Right.
And so the audience is laughing. I go, I'm being dead serious. So when you leave and you check out of this resort, let them know at the front desk that you loved my show. I said,
Right.
because folks, quite frankly, I did black jokes, didn't I? Yes. I did Spanish jokes. Yes.
Right.
I did Asian jokes. Everybody got hit.
Right.
and you all laughed. And
We
they
all had a
felt
good
their
time
joke.
because it wasn't malicious.
And by the way, really? that was offensive, I guess it would be really awkward to have two women sing by the balls. I didn't say, hey, hey, you two cunts that have to leave because you got to lick pussy.
Right.
Maybe you should have.
You know what?
Maybe you just should have.
Yeah, but you know what? Can I tell you? I think it's going to swing back to at least to the middle because listen, I've got an 18-year-old daughter who is very into that, you know, and very hyper woke and all this other shit. But you know what she said to me yesterday? We were on vacation. We went away for a couple of days, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "People are ridiculous." She goes, I'm trying to think. She said, I got canceled on TikTok because I did a video on makeup and I put a lot of blush on my face. It was either her or someone else did this video where they put blush on their face.
Right.
And someone in the comments said, thanks. My uncle who died of liver disease had, you know, that's the way his face looked before he died. I'm like, first of all, if you got liver disease, you don't got rosy cheeks.
No,
you got
you're yellow
fucking eyes. You know, so that's how fucking stupid they are.
I think
they're just grabbing at straws to look.
They're
for
looking
things.
for something to be offended
and
by.
The more times they're wrong about it and they're called out by the majority, then I think it will start swinging back where they may shut up.
There is starting to get a lot of pushback, and even from comics now who are afraid to say it because comics were being big pussies about this.
Right.
You know, because they want to work in Hollywood. Hollywood could suck my dick. Okay,
yeah, I don't care. I want people. You know what I love? I love the fact that Bill Burr is Bill Burr, and he says what he wants. And if you don't like it, don't go to the fucking show. Yes. He's still got a major following despite that. You know,
it's Brewer Burr for me. That's those two.
Yeah.
Fucking monsters.
I love. There was an interview in the clips online where there's a woman reporter and she says
the Catholic Church.
No, when she asked Bill Burr, "Are there funny women comedians?"
Funny women.
He goes, seriously, are we still on this shit?
Yeah.
And he just goes off on her.
Me. Yeah, right.
For asking this question. I was like, good for you, Bill. He just put her right in her place.
Of course there are. Right. Write your own shit. Stop complaining.
Yes.
It's fucking funny.
Exactly. I'm not Jerry Lewis. I'm fucking Bill Burr.
It was so great the way he just smacked her across the face with it and everything.
Yeah. He never caved into that shit ever.
No, he didn't. No. And you know what? I think that's why he's successful as he is, because he will not back down from what he believes in.
Because as soon as they bring in bullshit, he brings in common sense. He calls them out, but he brings in common sense. And he says, look, this is common sense. Is that nothing? There's a clip online of two like morning show people who like try and bait him with like, well, you know, the Catholic Church thought you were offensive.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
You were offensive on this. And he goes, really? I know this is a morning show, but come on, really? This is what you want to talk about? Yeah. You want to talk about my cartoon having an offensive line? The Catholic Church offended at what they did, and he fucking called them out. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm Catholic, but you know, I listen, I get it. You know, stop with the one side, because there's common sense in here too. Let's bring in the common sense.
Remember one thing, Ace. The problem is, I'm Paul Bond and you're Ace. We don't have that clout.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Right. We're going to lose gigs. We're going to lose rooms.
No, but I think America as a whole needs to stop giving a voice to these people.
Well, that's why we're
giving them the
next
clout
thing, which is my new tour.
Right.
My new tour is based on all the bullshit that's going on right now.
Yep.
The bullshit, because it's a pro-America comedy tour. And when I say pro-America,
it's not anti anything else. It's just pro-America, right?
Yeah, it's pro-America, but to be honest, it leans right. Why? Because I find Dems and libs don't have the sense of humor that we do. They just don't. They want to find something to fuck you with. And I'm tired of getting fucked by assholes.
Yeah.
So I go up on stage. The first thing I do is I sing the Star Spangled Banner, the way it was written.
Is that the same version you've always done?
No.
You do the actual Star
Spangled. I do the traffic version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this show, I start off singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
The flag next to me on the stage. I salute the troops. And it's a pro cop, pro vet, pro animal rescue, because I'm an animal rescuer.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
and pro laughter. It's prophylactic. It's a bunch of
Prophylactic.
But the point is, it's like-minded people getting together to laugh.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to deal with the Karens anymore. I don't want to deal with the, oh my God, I'm so offended. They know what they're coming to see.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
This is honesty a la George Carlin-esque. Okay?
Right.
And I'm going to make it funny, and you may not agree with everything I have to say, but I'll bring you to the funny. That's my fucking job.
Well, and to your point earlier, you're not trying to be malicious about anything. This is you're being silly with your with your message and your views. That's all.
And I've had this conversation because I have daughters that are 28, 25, and 21. And it's funny you said.
I'll tell you that right now.
What's that?
Those are weird measurements, if you ask me.
It is. Yeah. I wish they would get taller, but that's right too. But Ace, it's funny what you said about your 18-year-old earlier, because my older two are much more towards that very liberal vein, and my 21-year-old is not at all.
It's starting to swing back.
Because the older two are considered millennial category, and then she's what is their generation, the younger generation. I don't even know what it is, but she is much more conservative than they are in her thought process and things like that. Yeah. And I can say things around her that are fine. Now the older two, I can say pretty much anything I want around them, and I'll get a really type of thing. They won't get super offended, but
they'll just call you out what an asshole you are. That's
right. Yeah. But they do. But I can see their generation getting triggered a lot easier than my youngest daughter's generation. Right. They don't get triggered as easy. So I think it is going to change eventually.
Pray from your lips to God's ears.
I'm hoping so.
It does turn around, because by the time I get to theaters, because I'm starting off small. I'm doing small. I'm doing 50 to 75 seats.
Yep.
And I'm getting like-minded people together, and they're going to see the show, and then they're going to tell the friends next time I come in that area.
Then you go to a 200-seat club. Right.
So eventually I want to build it into a theater type tour.
Yep.
So because nobody knows me, I'm not delusional, okay? I know they'll like me when they see me. They just have to get there.
Right.
So I'm doing a show this Saturday. It's August 14th. If you're watching this after this, well, you fucking missed it.
You fucking missed it, right?
At Novella's Catering. It's a New Paltz.
Okay.
And I have Gene Trifolo opening for me.
Oh, I love Gene. Mean Gene.
We had Gene on a couple of months ago.
I love Gene.
Fucking love that guy.
He's a psycho. I love him.
Oh, every
picture. Did you hear who died? It's like... He always says that. As soon as they get out of the car. Who died? Pat Sajak. And he'll sit there with a face. I go, he didn't fucking die.
I love the fact that every picture of him is with like a hot girl in a bikini. And he always looks surprised to be there, which is great.
We had him on the podcast, and every story of every gig started with what the food was like at the club, or the best restaurant in the area,
or the lack thereof,
or the lack of food that they had.
He's a sweetheart, and he's
a great guy.
And I love hanging with him. So he's going to be doing he did one for me in Jersey already, and now he's doing one for me up in New Paltz.
Awesome.
And what we're doing is we're doing a cocktail hour in the beginning where people can mingle and have some food. Then we're doing the show, and then we're doing a meet and greet at the end. So
yeah, we're cheering because if you notice underneath, our friend Robin put up the comment to your point.
It's kind of our drinking game because Ace says that a lot.
I say to your point a lot, so it's a drinking game.
It's become a drinking game with our viewers that every time Ace says to your point, they have to take a drink.
We have to take a drink. So
I'm just drinking water. I'll join it.
That's all right.
That's fine. So,
but I'm proud of what I'm doing, and it's and for what it's worth.
Awesome.
And the Denzels who are watching are going to hate me right now, but it's so sad that when you see a flag outside of somebody's house, chances are it's a Republican or a conservative, not a Democrat.
Well, and yes, you're painting with a wide brush because it's not, all, Dems and Democrats and liberals are the same, and just like that, all Republicans are the same. But unfortunately,
when it comes to the flag, you're probably right.
Unfortunate stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah,
because they tend to fall.
That's right. And it's stereo because it's been said more than once.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but I remember when you made this announcement, you were going this way, and I was like, okay, where's Paul going with this? Because I've seen his act, and he's a likable guy on stage, and he's
still
fun.
Gonna be likable.
And yeah, you could tell that it's just something you're passionate about, so you're going with it, but you're still the same guy, which is good. I wouldn't want to see you change because you're a passionate guy. I mean, look at the animal rescue stuff. We haven't even talked about that yet.
Right.
You've been doing that for years. Just taking care of these animals. When I talked to him about being on the podcast, I mean, he was feeding these animals that him and his wife do as an animal rescue.
Not even mine, and I'm feeding them.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, you might hear some funny noises. I'm walking around feeding the animals right now. How long have you guys been taking care of animal rescue?
Well, my wife is actually she started it, and I joined her passion, and it became a passion of mine, and we've been doing it for like 15, 20 years now.
Wow.
And it's a rescue group that we're piggyback off of, and we take it very seriously. We spay, neuter, house, feed, do medical and foster and adoption, and we're always looking for fosters and adoptees, of course.
Yeah.
And donations, for Christ's sake, because I'm an out-of-work comic.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So, so I don't know. I put up my Venmo and PayPal once in a while just to see if I can get that way. But it does. There's no bullshit, no red tape. It goes right towards the cause. And every time I sell at the end of the show, that goes toward the cause. So.
I was just going to say that you've always sold. He sells CDs at the end of the show, one with his song parodies, another one, and you got to talk about the Christmas album. Because I have a copy of that, and I love this Christmas album.
It is, you know what? Thank you, Scott. I listen to it every year just to make sure. Does this hold up? And it's still fucked up.
It does. It does.
It's the most fucked up Christmas CD you will have. I don't care what one you have. But this is called the Very Filthy Triple Xmas. And again, in and out. Am I right, Scott?
Yes.
Right. Out. Yes. Songs don't go the whole song. It's Rudolph the Hung Reindeer. Grandma's getting plowed just like a John Deere.
But when the songs start, it sounds like every traditional Christmas.
It sounds like the original song.
Yeah,
that's the best part because nobody knows the words are going to be fucked up until they get.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great, and that's how he would present it on stage. Is buy this when you have your Christmas party or your relatives over. Pop it on and say nothing.
See if anyone
and just let it start playing.
It's just like
and just watch the faces in the room as the words kick in. And
32 tracks, and then somebody goes, "Did he say cock?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, Paul. It's like because you're a heavy metal fan. It's like I did a gig in New Jersey a couple of years ago. I had a new comic with me opening up. We went out. We grabbed a bite to eat after. And we're sitting at a bar, and I'm going through the jukebox, and I see Steel Panther on the jukebox.
Yes.
And I start playing it, and I go, watch people's faces as they actually hear the lyrics to a Steel Panther song. And all of a sudden, he goes, "Why?" I go, "Because they're a heavy metal band. They're going to sound like it's Motley Crue, but listen to the lyrics." And all of a sudden, I play Weenie Ride, and and you see everyone in the bar going, "Is he saying
yes?
What the fuck?" So it's probably just like that.
Behind to them, they're like the modern day. What the hell was that movie? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Spinal Tap. Yeah,
Spinal Tap.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Modern day Spinal Tap. Because if you listen to them, the music is really intense and really good.
It's good, right? They hold their own, but the lyrics are fucking.
But the lyrics are so funny and out there.
Dude, their bass player just left about a month ago. They posted a video to YouTube. Rest in peace. He's not dead. He just left the band, and they made this big tribute video as if he fucking died. It's hilarious.
I love it. That's so Spinal Tap. That
right?
Really
exactly.
That's awesome.
Sex Farm. Look at someone just. Robin just said Sex Farm. That's a Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
That's a Spinal Tap song.
One of the greatest movies ever. Right after Eddie Van Halen passed away, Steel Panther did a version of Unchained.
Oh yeah,
and put it up on YouTube, and it was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they're really good musicians.
They did a real version of it or a parody?
No, they did
No,
a
the
real
real
version of it
version? Oh,
as
cool,
a
cool.
tribute to Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, wow.
But
Hey, listen, it looks like we're running out of time, so I want to get my talk show in.
Yeah.
yes, I was going to
that's
go
why
to that next.
I put it up on the.
we got
thing.
two things we want to finish up with. First, you just launched it,
Yes.
your talk show. How you did the first episode? How long ago?
We just filmed it July 13th, and then
Okay.
we took a couple weeks to edit it. It was shot with a live audience, so none of it is canned laughter, which I
Yep.
love. And to give you a quick rundown of why you want to watch this show, first of all, yes, it leans right. I shit on the left during the monologue. Just
Yep.
know that going in. But let me tell you something about the monologue. It's smart, it's funny, and it's never too far. You know what I'm saying? It's never,
Yeah.
here's a joke, okay? Hey, Joe Biden put Pete Buttigieg in charge of all the infrastructure projects because of all of his years of experience in manholes. He hopes to become president one day so he can have a mandate. You know, here, and it's
clever.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's not.
No.
Dr. Fauci's coming out with a new line of bicycles. It comes complete with a back pedal. So the monologue is smart. It's funny. Even if you're left leaning, you're going to laugh at it because I had a left leaner in the room. I have a friend who's transgender and left.
Right.
And she laughed her ass
She
off.
laughed.
She goes 97% of it because there was one joke I couldn't. But she's funny that way.
Yeah.
She's a comic as well. But the show starts off with Groucho Marx and George Carlin in heaven talking about how political correctness has ruined comedy.
Yep.
And actually, George, yes, we had to address the elephant in the room that George was an atheist, and we do that too.
Yeah.
Starts off with that, and then the guy who does the best Donald Trump impression brings me out on stage, and Sean Farish from The Loud Majority has been all
okay. Yep.
he brings me out on stage. I do a monologue, and then my buddy Stevie GB, we do a bit, a sketch. I do a salute to Johnny Carson's Karnak. I do Paul Knack, the Incorrigible. With the answer to the question and everything else. So the answer is The Fast and the Furious. Describe a guy who comes too quick and the girl he's with. So
that's awesome.
Boom.
Right.
We got that going on. We got stand up by Steve Rocco Perillo. You keep your eye on this guy. He's fucking cool and very funny. And then we have Joe and Anthony Cumia.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
The Cumia brothers.
The Cumia brothers have formed a band called the Funky Monks, and it's a Red Hot Chili Pepper band tribute band.
Tribute band.
And it's fucking amazing, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Anthony sings his ass off. I didn't know he had the voice he had.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he does impressions, and most people who do impressions can sing. Because you have control over your voice
They
box.
started off as a band together, the band Rock Gut, back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, so
As Is was another band.
Yes, As Is.
Joe Perry's playing keyboards, by the way.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
Joe Perry on keyboards. So we got a couple of songs for them. We got George Gallo in there.
I love George.
Nice.
I love George.
We want to get him on the show.
I got to get him on.
He actually invaded a Hillary march by singing "Sore Losers, Sore Losers."
Yes, I remember that video. I remember that video. He's insane.
He's insane. So he's on the show. He has a couple of videos. He has a yard sale video, which is fucking hysterical. Of course, I do a little thing about the animal rescue, and I end the song. I end the show with a song parody that I shot in black and white with the Vegas background going on in the background, old 50s Vegas,
Yep.
And I sing, she gets on both knees and hobs and knob just to get a good paying government job. She's nothing but a socialist slob. That's right. Kamala is a tramp. So it does do the song, but the whole song is funny.
It builds to it. Right.
So it's the Paul Bond show. It's talk show. It's dude, I couldn't be prouder. It's an hour long and it goes really fast. Really fast.
We've got the link down below, https :/Viper Studios.
It's on my Facebook page too.
All right. So go to
And if you download the show, it's in the show notes. Just click on the link in the show notes, and you can sign up for the show there and get the show there and watch the show there.
Whenever you want it. In other words, they say pick a date because it's really for events.
Right. Yeah.
So don't get confused. When you pick your date, you can watch it anytime.
Okay.
And
From that date forward. So you're not going to get fucked if you can't see it at the time you think
On
you're
that
gonna watch
date,
it.
right?
you watch anything from Paul Bond, and you will be entertained.
This was
Trust
so
me.
much fun.
It doesn't matter if you're left leaning, right leaning. You're
It's
gonna
funny.
laugh at it.
Right.
Trust
Like
me.
I say, I don't care if you're right wing, left wing, or buffalo wing. Let's all laugh together.
Hey,
Yeah,
I tell
exactly.
you, don't get too spicy on this one, Paul.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
what do you
Tell
say?
ya.
to your
Hey.
point.
To your point. All right, time for our
So,
final
Hold on, I'm
question.
going to pull a Kevin Downey Jr. Sip.
Sip.
Yeah, we've
Sip.
so we've talked about wow moments, and I mean, you know, just all
You're
the
not going to
shit.
get over Metallica with a wow moment.
No,
with this guy.
no,
That's a big one.
exactly. But we always like to end the show by asking our guest about a funny bad gig moment. And that's the gig that it wasn't funny the night it happened. You probably made you want to quit comedy, but the further away you got from it, and you're in the green room with other comics, like, you know, months, years later, and everyone's telling their war stories about these shit gigs, and everyone's laughing at everyone else's pain. And that's the one where you go, oh, really? Oh, hold my beer. I got one for you.
This is your one-up story.
Yeah.
I have a choice of two, and I'm going to let you be the
You can do you can do both
so
if you want.
You want us to pick one or two?
Yeah, you're up to an hour. That's why I'm looking at your time.
Well, that's
No,
all
no,
right.
that's fine. That's
all right.
fine.
We
It's-
can go a little over.
Whatever you want to do, whatever you're
Yeah.
comfortable with.
All right. Here's the deal. I'm in a resort, and I'm doing black, white, yellow, all jokes.
Yeah, all jokes. Yeah.
So this one guy, and let me just say, the room is more urban than it is white.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
Yep.
So the guy, this white guy, who's had definitely a few more martinis than he should have, he yells at, "When you going to make fun of the black people?"
Oh my God. Oh.
What? And he goes, I did jokes about blacks. He goes, "No, you didn't." I go, "Yes, I did." I said, "Didn't I make fun of black people?" And black people are like, "Yeah." I go, "So wake the fuck up, Whitey." He goes, "No, I'm not going to be happy until you do some more jokes about these charcoal people."
Holy
Oh.
shit.
I said, "You know what? I want you to stand up so they can see who the racist is in the room."
Nice.
And the guy fucking stood up.
No.
Wow.
Room, every black guy is looking at this asshole.
I'm taking a mental picture, motherfucker.
Dude, I finished by the balls.
Yeah.
I finished with by the balls. Thank you. Good night. And this guy, this white guy, he couldn't have. It was like he ran into his shadow.
A
That's how
wall.
fast. He's out in the parking lot. 7 black guys run out after him. He's bailing out into the parking lot.
Because they knew it was going to happen.
Dude, he
What
left
an
his wife.
idiot.
He left his wife in the resort. It was a lovers' resort.
Oh my God.
He left her there, and
Holy shit.
they're like, "We're gonna beat your fucking." They were out, and rightfully so. He was being
Oh, absolutely. He was an asshole. I feel bad for his wife.
and he was being really bold about it too. Which
Yeah.
really kind of fucking really disturbing. You know,
Was he a big guy?
be a silent racist. That's
Was he a big guy?
really.
He had no reason. He was like
He's an
5'6".
average Bill, you know,
Yeah.
he's like me. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna fight. You know, so. So finally, security got to, and thank God security was black.
Yep.
Okay. And I say that in a positive way because
Yeah.
he was able to talk the black guys down. And he told the white guy, "I know your wife's inside, but you're going to get your fucking ass out of this resort.
Yep.
And we're going to, whatever hotel you check into, we will cater.
We'll
and
get
send
her
you back
there. Wow.
She'll pack your shit and you will be gone." And
Wow.
my heart was like, boom, 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 boom. And
Wow.
as I saw it, I go, I'm fucked. I just caused a race riot.
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da, boom.
Yeah. Right.
That deserved more of "we can't have you here anymore"
Right.
Then
that
the
one
lesbians.
lesbian.
Then the other
Yeah,
one. Right.
yeah.
Exactly. So when are you playing that resort next?
That That
I'll be there
happens to be
September
the resort-
25th through.
That happens to be the resort I was banned from.
Oh, was it? Ah,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Down the road.
But that didn't get you banned.
Maybe it
The
wasn't
other thing-
just the lesbians. Maybe it was 2 strikes and you're out type
Yeah,
of
right.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
it was in a different room of the resort.
Oh,
They have-
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Different room. Different room.
I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe after you start a race riot and walk lesbians, maybe they're thinking, okay, we've tried this twice.
Right.
Now, the
That's
other
funny.
one was I took a private party.
Those are always
Yeah,
fun.
those are always fun.
Took a private party for doctors.
Oh, they're not. Yeah,
I
that's a
already
great
know
crowd.
this is going to be bad.
They have a
Not
sense of
one-
humor.
Not one woman in the room. You guys know when it becomes the swinging dicks club, and
Yep.
they're all sitting around smoking cigars, like
And they're all the smartest guy in the room.
They're the smartest
Thank
and
you.
the funniest.
and I'm doing jokes and I'm doing my act and I'm smiling, I'm shucking a job, and in my head I'm going, this can't end soon enough.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And at one point, one guy sits back and he goes, he says to his friend loud enough, so when does the show start?
Oh.
And I go, as soon as you find a brain cell and build around it. And the guy looked at me like, you have some nerve. I go, really? Do I come into the operating room and knock your elbow every time you go to try to make an incision? There you go. There you go. I said, that's what you just did. You disrespected me.
Right.
So the crowd got the guys got a little tense, but then they realized we like this.
Right. Oh, yeah. They want you to bust people's balls.
Dude, all of a sudden it became
A
roast
roast.
central.
Yup. Exactly. The more you,
Ah.
I found when you're doing those kind of shows, because bachelor parties are like that too, stag
Yeah.
parties. I would try and do my, hey, I'm Catholic and I grew up and went to Catholic school, and it was
Right,
like,
right.
and then all of a sudden I go, the more I shit on the crowd, the better off it was. So to fill the time, I would do a joke, and then
Right.
I'd shit on table 1, and then I'd do another joke, another 2 jokes, and then I'd shit on table 2. And I would purposely get to a bachelor party a half hour before, and they'd be like, do you want to come and sit and eat? I'm like, no. And I'd case the whole fucking room, and I'd look for anyone that looked
Yep.
like a celebrity, looked like an athlete, so that I could call them out.
Yes,
And
yes.
to this day, I've had people come up to me. I'll never forget. I did a bachelor party where, I don't know, one of the guys looked like Quint from Jaws,
Yes.
but he happened to be in waste management.
Oh,
Right?
jeez.
And I said, what is this fucking guy? Ride the top of the dump truck? We need a bigger boat. Let's go.
Y'all know me. You know what I do.
And do you know that they still come up to me? I've seen, because Rhode Island's a small state. I've seen guys come up to me and they're like, dude, do you know we still call him Quint?
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Yes.
love when a fucking nickname you get. I've called guy a Bill Nye the Science Guy because he looked like him. 20 fucking years later, someone comes up and goes, oh my God, you call my buddy Joe Bill Nye the Science Guy? We still call him that. I love it.
And you know what's funny? You see it so obviously as a comedian. They never
Right.
saw it.
And they
So
never saw it.
Yeah.
But now they can't forget it.
now they
right?
can't get away from it. Exactly.
My favorite bad corporate gig story, it was a friend of ours was on, and they were doing a show for lawyers. It was a room full of lawyers, and they're worse than
Another bad
doctors.
group.
Oh, yeah.
Worse than
Oh, yeah.
doctors. And same thing. None of the wives. It was just mostly male lawyers, few women, and it was a 3-comic show. 2 minutes into the first comic, one of the lawyers sitting there with the cigar in his hand goes, that's good. And he goes, excuse me? He goes, yeah, we're done with this. And
Yeah.
he goes, there's 2 more comics. And the guy goes, I don't think so. Show's over. And they
Oh.
ended it 2 minutes in
2 minutes
to
in.
the entire comedy show.
It's crazy.
Show's over.
fuck.
They still got paid.
Which are the best kind of shit gigs.
But because the 2 comics that went on afterwards going, we got the easy part. We didn't even have to go up there and deal with that shit.
Yeah.
And we get to
Ow.
leave. But they're like 2 minutes into the first guy. Yeah, we're good. This is done.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's fucking hysterical.
Of
Oh,
course.
isn't it?
Especially because they're sitting there and the comics are like, are we going to get paid?
Right, exactly. That's all we care about.
The office manager
Hey.
from the law office came up,
Thank you.
handed them a check, and said, you guys really should just go now.
Our friend Our friend Jen, I'm just putting up the comment from before. He ran into his shadow, LOL.
That's a great line.
That's a great
Thanks,
one.
man. Yeah, he
Hey,
was scared shit, man. He was like,
Paul, I
But,
was so excited when we were able to get you scheduled on here, man, because
This was awesome.
I have always loved performing with you, man. I consider you a very, very good friend.
thank you, same here.
You know, I just, it's been too long since I've gotten to do a show with you or hang out with you or anything, you know, because it's fucking COVID shit. So,
Fucking rain.
fucking
The new
rain.
I call it the new C word.
Yeah,
The new C word. Yeah, right.
That's perfect. So, definitely to everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, follow Paul on his Facebook, and
I am banned until the end of the week, but yeah, follow me on Facebook.
Or find his website.
His website, Paul Bond Comedy. You can get his link to his Facebook there, and you can see his other stuff on there.
Yeah.
Definitely check out his new show, and you will laugh your ass
Please
off.
watch the
You'll
talk
be
show. I need hits. I need a lot of hits.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
$10, folks.
We'll put it in the it's up
It'll
right
be-
now, but we'll put it in the show notes.
It'll be in
when
the
we-
show notes for everybody that downloads this,
Just
and for
click
everyone
it.
that's watching. You
It's a
see it on your
stream.
screen right now.
You don't even have to download. It's a stream. And
It's
once
a
you
stream.
once you pay your dues, whatever it is, then you can watch it whenever you want. You click on the stream and watch it. You can watch it as many times as you want to.
That's great. That's
so
awesome.
if you get interrupted watching the show,
Go
like,
back and
oh
watch
shit,
it.
that was our time. No,
Right. You go
Click
back
on
and
it
watch
again.
it.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
back and watch it.
I'm sure you're gonna love it, dude. It's old school, new school, and no rules.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And Paul, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you
I
so
loved
much,
it. It
man.
was fun, man. It went
It
really
was-
fast. It really was. Nice to meet you, Ace.
Yeah, you too, man. And we'll get you on again. We do
Yeah.
sometimes we do like panel shows where we pick topics and stuff and just
Yeah.
have a panel of comics. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I love that shit. That's awesome.
All right.
Awesome, man. I
All right,
love you.
man.
I love you, brother, and I miss you.
I love you too, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
See you, Paul.
Later,
It was a
Paul.
pleasure.
And that was Paul Bond, everybody.
Awesome. That was so fun.
he's a great guy.
Awesome.
He really is.
Yeah.
You know, he's been doing that animal rescue shit for years, and he would sell his CDs after shows,
Yep.
and all the money goes to feed the animals.
To the animals.
And take care of the animals. I mean, him and his wife keep them at their house.
Right,
You know, they have
right.
stuff set up at their house to take care of the animals there. He's very passionate about that. You know, and yeah, his new tour and everything like that is a little more, you know, right leaning politically, but it's still fun.
It's still fun
He
and
keeps
clever,
it-
though.
he keeps
Everything
it on
he
the
said
fun and
was
the
fun and
clever
clever.
side.
It
Right.
wasn't just attacking. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
He finds a way to say things without making. He's not mean.
Mm.
Which I appreciate about Paul.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those guys. We did a show in Connecticut 2 years ago. They wanted to do a Boston versus New York show.
Oh yeah,
And I was the
Bridge Street Live.
Yeah, Bridge
Yeah.
Street Live, and I was the Boston guy, and he was the Connecticut guy.
Yep.
And we just, and basically it was just an excuse to sell tickets because
Right.
it wasn't a versus show at all.
No, it was just
both
two
of
different
us-
comics.
both
yeah.
of us got up and did 40 minutes, and we had a great comedy
Mark-
show. We had a blast.
Mark Riccadonna actually told me he wants to do one of those with me. You know, Boston, New
Dude,
York. Yeah,
totally
so
go
much
there.
fun.
That crowd at that place is just phenomenal. It's a rock club. That's a beautiful club. But I hope you guys enjoyed Paul. You know, and definitely check him out, follow him out. Once again, thanks to Balvini.
Yes, thank you, our new girlfriend for this week. Anyway, we're being hosed now.
Oh, and I might
Yes.
sleep with her more than once.
yeah, sure.
Because she was very loving to us this week.
Yes, she was.
And everyone, please, again, if you haven't done so yet, if you want to help out the podcast, 5-star written review wherever you download your podcast.
Yes.
That is such a huge help to us. It has helped us in the last couple of months, and we need your continued help. So please do that when you get a chance.
And folks, just to let you know, next week live we have Rob Bartlett coming on, and I know you're bummed.
I am so bummed because I'm on vacation next week.
Yes,
but I'm going to pop in for a few minutes because I want an excuse just to say hi to Rob Bartlett because I've been a fan for years.
Listen, I was on with him earlier today because let me just say we're actually going over to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling now for a little bit to go on to the Bob Nelson fundraiser.
Yes.
So follow us over there. Go to twitch.com, Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling channel. We're going to be on for a little bit with a lot of the folks from that channel, Mark Riccadonna, Richie Byrne, all guys that you know, Frank Vignola, who's another guy I want to get on, Rob Bartlett's on there. But next week, we've got Rob Bartlett coming on, and we're going to have our friend Tom Stewart as a guest host, another radio guy. Rob Bartlett is a hilarious comic.
Legendary.
He did it again tonight. We were talking, and he all of a sudden he goes, and let me tell you about the thing about. And everyone's sitting there going, "Oh, I think his thing froze."
It was him?
He's a ball buster. I said, "I guarantee he's freezing." And all of a sudden his eyes go. It was so fucking funny. He killed me. So yeah. So we're gonna have Rob Bartlett on next week. The following week on the 25th, we've got Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame founder Joe Hebert.
I'm looking forward to that.
We have not had Joe on in a long time.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And he's going to come on and talk about what's going on with the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame, the newest inductee that's going to be coming up in September.
Yes.
It's going to be great. And then, guys, I'm putting together an amazing October.
Oh, fuck.
It's going to be called Scottober.
You didn't have to adopt that.
Thanks,
know. Jen. I know you're watching, Jen, and this is all your fault.
But my God, we've got people. It is good. I cannot wait for October.
You're going to have to reach out to Vin and have him do a Scottober t-shirt.
We will. We'll do a Scottober t-shirt, and it'll be you with your headset with beads of sweat coming down. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Scottober. But yeah, we've got that. We've got a great comic from the West Coast, Mo Mandel, who's going to be on in September.
Yes.
And then I just worked with a couple of guys that I haven't worked with in a while. Al Park, who was one of the winners of the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yeah, Al's a very funny comic.
Also the winner of the Cleveland Comedy Festival. We're going to get him on. Oh my God, who else did I work with? Oh my God. I'm going to feel like an asshole because I know I'm going to remember it right after this. I'm going to remember who it was.
Right. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We've got great guests coming up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. We got, the next couple of months are going to be absolutely outstanding.
And listen, seriously, folks, if you want to watch us, we're going to jump over to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling on Twitch TV to join the Bob Nelson Telethon. And as you heard in the previous episodes, Bob is a hilarious comic, one of the nicest guys in comedy, who is battling colon cancer. And we're on a telethon that we're trying to raise money for him for his medical expenses. So join us over there. It's going to be a bunch of comics just chilling out, telling stories, and it's going to be fun. So other than that,
we will talk to you
next week.